Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me for the Taz Effect, daily news in a way you did not know you could use. For those listening over the radio airwaves, thank you for tuning in to gcpr.live. Those listening and watching, thank you for watching through Facebook, Substack, YouTube, and TikTok. Oh, oh. So, Jack Smith. It's Taz time. Hey, Jay. Jack Smith said, "Hey, I have no problem testifying before Congress, but it will be televised." Testimony just wrapped just a few minutes ago, and keep in mind he had been questioned since about 10:30 Eastern Standard Time this morning. Per usual, the Republicans decided to suspend reality and ask questions and tell tales as if the insurrection wasn't televised. I I I got nothing. I truly I got nothing. Okay. Hey, Nana J. Um, Democrats kept trying to enter things into evidence. They were objected from this. Interviews, testimony, quotes from Trump himself regarding the insurrection. One representative states that he talks to Trump a lot. That was Grothman. And there's no way. Trump definitely doesn't believe that he lost the 2020 election. If he really thought that after all this time, he must be the greatest actor in the building that they were in. I wish I was joking, but I posted it. I posted it. Now Raskin said, "Hey, since there are so few times that Jack Smith was allowed by Republicans to answer the questions, let's bring him back for round two." And then Jim Jordan, the chair of the committee, was like, "Oh, we'll see about that. But remember, committee members, you have 5 days to get additional questions in because, with these hearings, even with public hearings, they have an ability to ask questions that they can't ask televised when they need to get into matters of national security, things that have been sealed for further prosecution, etc." But why are we so afraid of somebody coming forward to answer the questions and to be asked additional questions? Because isn't that the opposite of the issue that they're having with Bill and Hillary Clinton? And Bill and Hillary are like, "Hey, enforce subpoenas all the way around, force the DOJ to comply, and make our hearing public. We will come in front of the public so the people at large can hear what we're asked and hear our answers in real time." But child, this between that speech yesterday from Trump and this hearing today, hey DJ, I just, mm. um, and current Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear said Trump's speech yesterday was dumb as hell. He's not wrong. He's not. He's not wrong. I'm kind of liking this reversal of going back to the political climate of the 1700s and 1800s, where they just tell it like it is. Now, can we get back to y'all fighting on the congressional floors over bills for the people? Can we get back to y'all fighting for your constituency? But let's get into the serious news. Shock as leaked doc shows Trump's DHS considers Americans' nation's main threat. America faces significant threats to our nation's infrastructure from hostile actors like Russia, China, and others. But a leaked security threat assessment from President Donald Trump Sr.'s administration says the greatest threat America faces is within its own borders, according to a new report. Oh my goodness. Watch my jaw stay in place. Oh wow. I am so shocked. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought the greatest threat to this country was within this country? Oh wow. Such groundbreaking investigative work by the Trump administration. Woo woo. We have a sitting president that's a felon that loves to incite violence. Let's not forget, during Jack Smith's testimony today, Trump was over on Truth Social, where Truth goes to slowly and painfully die, issuing more threats towards Jack Smith, as his sycophants in the GOP were like, Trump doesn't use violent language. He's a peaceful, peace, 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 peace. Piece of ass. Piece of ass. Each year since 2020, the Department of Homeland Security has published a Homeland Threat Assessment, a report that describes the specific threats America faces: racism, white supremacy, bigotry, overall hatred, jealousy, rugged individualism. Should we go on? A lot of the usual suspects are present: crime, drug gangs. What other kind of gangs are there? Illegal immigration, and so on. But a new crop of characters appeared in this year's report, which has not been yet made public, according to independent journalist Ken Klippenstein. Klippenstein received a leaked copy of the report, which now focuses on terrorism stemming from class based or economic grievances. The Triple K has been around for how long? Then we got the three percenters, the Proud Boys, the unnamed goofy, but y'all just now realizing and wanting to put into this report domestic terrorist. See, y'all just overlooking police gangs that are terrorists also. Y'all don't see MAGA. Y'all need to borrow my glasses. The phrase could as much refer to an angry MAGA Midwesterner as it could a Mamdani supporting urban dweller, Klippenstein wrote in a new Substack essay. I'm so sick of this shit. No, there's only one way to say that, and that's the Taz way, and that's just straightforward and down the line. Either you're gonna like it or you're not. Either way, I don't give a damn. So here we go. Melanated people with internalized racism that still feel the need to protect white people and non-deconstructing, fully practicing white people. Okay. I'm not talking to the Anglo-Saxons right now. I'm not talking to the Caucasians right now. I'm talking to the white people, the people who gave up culture and heritage for the sake of being a void, walking around all over the place, trying to be a succubus of society. Okay. Okay. Good. Stop making excuses. Stop pointing the finger on him so you think people won't be focused on what's going on out. Okay. Now, I know for the longest time it has been one of the most tried and true tactics of the United States to tell people that the boogeyman is either over there, or on both sides. But that's not true. A Mamdani supporter, or I should say someone who voted for Mamdani, is not the same damn thing as a MAGA fanatic. In order to get Mom Donnie elected, they canvassed for him, they fundraised for him, they volunteered at his campaign organization, they put out mailers, they got people to the polls. MAGA threatens people, doxes people, shoots people, fights people, disrespects people, and slings around their racism like it's a damn Groupon for Ruby Tuesday. Can we stop? And I got some questions for certain journalists who are proclaiming themselves to be politically independent, but they're the only ones that anything is getting leaked to. How you got such close ties in this current administration that they're consistently giving you the goods? You weren't getting all this leaked information from the Biden administration. So you can't say that somebody who's nonpartisan is like, hey, this is for the sake of transparency. The good people within the borders of these here United States should know this. I got questions because every time there's a leaked document that goes to a handful of these journalists out here, they pull this both sides bullshit. If somebody walks up and smacks the shit out of me, and I decide to press charges, are both of us violent? Absolutely the hell not. Stop. Stop trying to cover for the savagery and the tyranny of willfully white folks. I'll be glad. Now, towards the middle of COVID lockdown, there started to be a trend of white people not wanting to be white anymore. And hear me out, this is what I mean. Where people started to say, you know what, I'm reconnecting with my German heritage. I'm reconnecting with my Nordic heritage. I'm proud Italian. I'm proud Greek. Keep it going. Bring back the Scandinavians, okay? Bring back the Irish. Bring back the Germans, okay? Eliminate the willfully white. We need these voids upon society gone. And before you got Taz, it's not right to call people a void. That is exactly what they are. This is why they want to suck up all the culture of everybody else, because whiteness is void of everything. You want to know what's comprised of everything? Of everything? Black. These races are so freaking idiots and stupid that they labeled them something that is a void, and said that they were superior to who they labeled as being the embodiment of everything. What do you mean TikTok is on some bullshit, SC? Right, bring back the Sicilians. Willfully white folks need to go away. But please to tell me. What to send you get? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I did not realize that. Okay, my apologies regarding the gifting. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did. I don't know. I don't. It's me. There's no telling what I did on TikTok. Yeah, there has not been an insurrection incited by a Democrat, an independent, a Pink Party member, a Green Party member, a Temperance Party member. Yes, the Temperance Party still exists. No Democrat, independent, libertarian, Green Party politician has called for a self coup. It's been off for a minute now. Huh. Thanks, DJ. When this show ends, I'll go and look at my system notifications because I rarely go in there and check because it's always bad news for me. So, also, if you live in Texas, yeah, I'm always in timeout, manager. If you live in Texas, here is your annual winter weather report. Ted Cruz is on a plane. Go get all the supplies, batten down the hatches, all that stuff. Y'all about to get hit with a doozy. That is your early warning system. Ted Cruz being on the plane. I'm sorry, Rafael flying to hell. And I say that because Ted Cruz, I'm sorry, Rafael Cruz bites back as critics furious over his leaving Texas ahead of major winter storm. At this point, Rafael, okay? This is why the only Rafael I like is Sadiq, kind of, sorta, and Ninja Turtles. Next Saturday, come on, we will have a day. Woohoo! Great. Um, gotcha, SC. Um, because at this point, Rafi, rent a private plane. Rent a private plane. First of all, with the stuff that you let come out of your mouth, I'm surprised you do anything public. Okay? If I were you, I wouldn't get a Lyft, a Uber, get on a public jet. Like, you ain't afraid. First of all, y'all not making these politicians afraid enough. Get up in their face and ask them some questions. Treat them, you know what? Give all of these politicians the Marjorie Taylor Greene treatment. What do I mean by that? Remember when Marjorie Taylor Greene was just walking up on people, especially activists, making them uncomfortable, asking them all sorts of questions? Start doing that. Start doing that. Because trust and believe. I do it. It's also why I'm banned from a few offices. But that's beside the point. Okay? Yeah, he can borrow one of Noam's planes or have one of the new fleet that Kashyap Patel bought for the FBI drive him wherever he want to go. But Senator Cruz pushed back on critics, pouncing on him over an image of the senator on a plane to California just days before Texas is set to get hit with a major winter storm. So Cruz's office put out a statement dismissing criticism and explaining that Cruz was on a pre-planned trip and that get in my bag. Sorry. Papa's over here. Boy, trying to steal my snacks. I'm sorry. A pre-planned work travel that was scheduled weeks in advance. He will be back in Texas before the storm is projected to hit. Raise your hand if you believe that he gonna go down there and batten down the hatches and go through the storm with him. Yes, Ned J. He always trying to steal. He don't even like me, but he gonna try to steal my stuff. You know what? This got to be people abuse. When you're a human with a pet, you're never lonely. There's always a four-legged Richard pup watching. Ted Cruz ain't about to go through this storm with nobody. He mm-mm. um hold on. Okay. I don't know why this story is not loading. Okay, hold on. I don't know why that one didn't pull up, but we'll go to the next. Well, we know the only time Trump can be profitable is stealing, and in this current administration, money laundering through litigation. And I'm using air quotes for litigation because we know he never intended to step into a courtroom, and all these companies that are capitulating to him, they're doing it for some quid pro quo, aka money laundering. Hold on real quick, TikTok. All right, there we go. Trump sues JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon for dropping him as a customer after January 6th attack. I really wish that MAGA would remember the preemptive litigations that they have put out into the ether. Y'all sued preemptively so that private entities could decide when, where, how to no longer do business with people. When, where, how they could fire you as a customer. Y'all did this. Y'all set the precedent. Like, you can't force somebody to do business with you. President Donald Trump Sr. is suing JP Morgan Chase, the nation's largest bank, and its CEO, Jamie Dimon, alleging it improperly dropped him as a client in 2021 for political reasons. When people start trying to make everything political, remind them that it's not. Everything is not drawn, I shouldn't say not political. When people try to say everything is drawn along political lines, remind them that it's not. Everything is not. No. If somebody doesn't want to be your friend, hey, Shane, it has nothing to do with that. If somebody's like, no, I'm not doing business. If you're a horrible person, you're a horrible person. Now, if that attaches you to a particular political party, you know. The suit in state court in Florida seeks $5 billion in damages. Boy, after that fraud case, you can't claim that they affected your income. The suit says that the bank notified Trump and his various businesses it was closing their banking accounts at the bank in February of 2021, giving them a 60-day notice before the closures went in effect. That's fair. That's plenty enough time to, shop around for another bank. Funny that you didn't sue Deutsche Bank, though, Trump. Did you ever pay them, though? The suit, and if you didn't, Deutsche Bank, take him to court. Please. The suit also charges that Trump, his family, and various businesses were placed on a blacklist by JP Morgan for any wealth management accounts that they have title to. The suit alleges that placement on the blacklist was authorized by Diamond and that being placed on the blacklist led other banks not to deal with Trump and the other plaintiffs in the suit. I think the fraud case that you lost and it proved that you were falsifying documents and strong arming bank employees and that you don't have the collateral or the liquidity to back up what you want to take out of the bank, you welfare bitch, is why you're blacklisted from so many banks. But I mean, if you're rolling in the money like you claim that you're rolling in the money, put it under the mattress and finance your own shit. I mean, you made somebody's over in Qatar. Go put your money in the bank over there. You're putting our money from the sale of Venezuelan oil over in the banks in Qatar. So, take it over there. The suit is the latest of a series of lawsuits filed by Trump against critics and perceived enemies seeking billions of dollars in damages, including against media companies such as CBS, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the BBC. The suit also comes one day after Diamond, speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos, said that a proposal by Trump for a 10% cap on credit card interest rates would be an economic disaster because it would cut many American households off from access to credit. So, and this is why I say so. There are a lot of people watching right now that don't realize two things. You're older than credit cards and you're older than credit scores. Oh, you're right, Chuckles. There should be about 8 billion lawsuits against Trump. People have survived without credit. People have been able to pay bills and acquire homes and all this stuff without credit. It is not a necessity. It is another thing dripping in racism as a way to eliminate doing business with people, as a way of eliminate upward mobility. So people not having access to a credit card. So what? Because aren't the wealthy the ones that are always saying, don't use your credit card? That's why you poor. This why you not like me. Don't sit there and use your credit card to get that $5 Starbucks. By the time you done paying for it, it's gonna be $12. Now that last part, that is kind of true. After you pay the interest rates and everything else, there's really no point in it. You can already, if you need it, borrow from the banks. Do it. But Trump getting all up in his feelings because nobody wants to take a chance on him. You had a whole trial. You have to have somebody looking over all of your businesses. That's why your sons created a whole nother set of businesses and entities and everything. Baby, the blacklisting is because that trial exposed how you do business. Like, people for a while speculated. There were some rumblings out there, but it was confirmed with a capital C. You're telling the world that you're a billionaire, and you have been for a while, but you're creating your own Time magazine cover. You're calling and pretending to be somebody else in order to get on the Forbes list. And Forbes, don't ever call yourselves journalism for a while. Because how did y'all let that happen? Y'all put these people on the list. Y'all didn't vet anything. People could just call and be like, yeah, I'm worth this amount of money. Or, hey, I know such and such and such and such. Like, I need you all to think, Forbes. How can somebody else tell you what's in another person's bank account? Huh? But Trump, no. And you're only doing this, Trump, because the head of JP Morgan Chase doesn't want you to pass any legislation that would cap things. Banks want to continue to take advantage of people, even though the basic business model of a bank is that they need our money to work for them. That's their biggest and greatest employee, our money. Because how much you want to bet here in a little bit, there's going to be a settlement, and then there's no more cap. Sounding very 60 Minutes, sounding very CBS. Take that however you want. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. I don't know why that other story didn't load. Okay, here we go. Coming from mprnews.org, ICE detains 5-year-old Minnesota boy. School leader says agents used him as bait. Before we get into this article, I've seen multiple people talk about this today and rightfully be in their feelings. But I'm going to correct you all on something. Hey, Tracina, because there are a lot of people go, well, I didn't think that the United States would use children as bait. I didn't think the United States would detain children. Why did you think that? This is the same country that would lynch pregnant women, cut open their belly, take out their babies, burn them, or use them as alligator bait. This is the same country that takes young girls and passes them around like party favors. This is the same country that has repeatedly used children to try to quash movements. This is a country where they blew up a church and killed Black girls. Why are y'all so shocked that this country is doing what this country is known to do. Is it because you thought all the way up until this point they only did that to black people? Let me once again remind y'all that black people are the litmus test. And the thing about it is they'll plaster about, in most instances, what they do to us all over the place, and they keep it hush hush what they do to one another. Until certain television stations came into existence, y'all didn't know how often white people was killing other white people for dumb shit. They'll cover it up, but they want to tell on you. Ever notice how quick a white woman is to call CPS on a black parent, especially a black mother, but will be quiet as she sits in her fellow white woman's living room and watches them put cigarettes out on their child? Skewing statistics exist. And a lot of times the statistics exist to push forward their white supremacist tropes and talking points and their narratives that, see, without us, look what they would be doing. Don't be shocked. Why? Oh, Chuckles, they're not just sending people in to pretend to be child protective services. They're sending people, um, sending the antifreeze avoidant idiots. Um, they're sending, they're putting fake packages in front of people's houses to have a way to get into their house. So if you didn't order nothing, don't take no package in your house because they don't tell them what's in there. They're having people pose as utility workers. Verify everything. I think some of y'all need to go back to your latchkey kid days. Don't trust, always verify. I would say make a list, uh, put it by wherever you're at the most, or put it in multiple places around your house, of the number to your utility companies, the non-emergency line to uh, the police department, how to get through to EMT, all of these things. Yeah, you take the package and they report you for theft. So, the Columbia Heights Public School District says federal agents have detained 4 of its students in 4 separate instances over the last 2 weeks. One child is a 5-year-old boy who attends a district elementary school and was used as bait to draw family members out of their home. Why detain a 5-year-old? You can't tell me that this child is going to be classified as a violent criminal. Zena Finvik, the Columbia Heights superintendent, told reporters Wednesday. According to Stenvik, masked agents apprehended 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos in his driveway on Tuesday as he returned home from school with his father. Another adult living in the home was outside and begged the agents to let him take care of the small child and was refused, Stenvik said. Yeah, I've got a picture of him right in front of me right now, Nightbird. I want you all to never forget that part of the origin story for the foster care system in the United States was a way for white people to still receive free labor from black children. I want you to also never forget that there are people who sign up to be foster parents. One, the income is a part of their retirement plan. Two, they still want free labor, amongst other things. Once again, most of the ICE facilities right now perform a duality. I have them broken down into categories, and some of the categories are shelters, juvenile detention centers, and foster care. If you'd like to take a look for yourself, you can find it at camptaz.blogspot.com. Have you all forgotten that there are still children missing after being separated from their families during the first Trump administration? And it is okay to realize the wrong that this administration is doing. It is okay to criticize this administration. What is not okay is to keep going. But what about Obama? What about Obama? What about your mama? Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. You all can tort and twist yourself more than a damn German pretzel. Okay? Trying to avoid accountability being placed in the rightful laps of certain white people. But you'll sit here and go, I'm not racist. I have a race spot in my body. I ain't never said or did nothing racist. You're doing a racism right now, Jan. You do realize that if somebody comes to you and says, hey, insert white person here did insert bad things here, and your first response is to go, but what about and talk about a melanated person, you're racist. You may not like to hear it. I don't give a damn. Because you're not denying that person's guilt. You just want people to focus on who the United States and actually the globe at this point has determined is supposed to be the eternal villain. Now we know after his disastrous rambling speech where he was fighting for his life to stay awake, Trump seemingly has given up on his dreams of taking over Greenland, even after he confused Greenland and Iceland during his disastrous speech. And it's because Europe was like, meet me outside, Trump. Just come outside. We just want to talk. We just want to talk. We just want to talk. Trump Greenland deal reportedly includes U.S. sovereignty over small pockets of territory. Before we get into this, countries of the world, y'all are not petty enough for me right now in this moment, okay? There are so many missed opportunities, okay? Greenland, Trump wants sovereignty over small pockets and he wants your minerals. Each one of y'all should go get a rock, a scoop of dirt, put it in some Ziploc bags, okay? Y'all put it in some boxes and go, this is your sovereign nation of Greenland. This is your part of Greenland and ship it to him. Like, that's what y'all need to be doing. Don't really cut a deal with him. Just be like, you want Greenland? We'll send Greenland to you. And that's how you send it to him. Just, like, y'all missing so many great opportunities. Okay? Just like he has his replica of the Arc de Triomphe. Because he wants his Tamo version of the Arc de Triomphe called the Arc de Trump. Just send him a 3D replica of Greenland. Trust me. He don't know the difference. He don't. Tell him he now is in control of a corner of Antarctica. He don't know the difference. Okay, he just gonna take a victory lap. He don't know. Okay? You could give him an uncharged batteryless controller and tell him that he is the goodest boy at the game. He don't know. Find the tempo ever. Yeah. Like, And Melania, sister girl, look, melanoma, come here. Come here. Instead of you going out here making movies and stuff, how about you learn how to cook? Okay, and the way his health is right now, I have the perfect recipe for you to learn how. It's real simple, okay? You can learn it real easy, okay? The recipe is in the movie called The Help. You might not like it because there's a lot of black people up in there, but trust me, you're gonna learn a lot. Just make that recipe because he liked the sweets, right? And just make that. He in bad health. He need a little something sweet for his end of days. Okay? And we're all the good Christian nationalists. Y'all can predict the end of days, but y'all can't predict these end of days. The signs are all around us. Y'all ain't seeing it? Huh? Hmm. Hmm. NATO released a statement on Wednesday, shortly after President Donald Trump Sr. announced he and NATO's Secretary General Mark Rutte had formed a framework for a deal on Greenland. The NATO statement came amid new reporting from the New York Times that the deal may include the U.S. being given sovereignty over small pockets of land in Greenland. Is this like is this like the co-parenting agreement between Spain and France? Where there's like a little island that part of the year one of them is in charge of it, the other part of the year, like they got joint parenting. Is that what it's gonna be? And it's like, is it a buoy right off the coast? Is that what y'all gonna that is that what y'all gonna do? Trump has recently vowed to acquire Greenland from NATO ally Denmark, including by using military forces if necessary. First of all, Trump has to learn the difference between Norway and Denmark, and the difference between Greenland and Iceland. NATO spokesperson Alison Hart released a statement saying the Secretary General had a very productive meeting with President Trump during which they discussed the critical significance of security in the Arctic region to all allies, including the United States. Or is he going to pull a? Are they going to pull a FIFA and just give him a certificate to nothing? Discussions among NATO. Keep in mind what that did to FIFA because they dropping FIFA like it's a hot potato. Discussions among NATO allies on the framework the president referenced will focus on ensuring Arctic security through the collective efforts of allies, especially the seven Arctic allies. Negotiations between Denmark, Greenland, and the United States will go forward aimed at ensuring that Russia and China never gain a foothold economically or militarily in Greenland, concluded Hart's statement. Trump refused to offer any specifics of the deal when pressed by CNBC's Joe Kernan in an interview shortly after the announcement, but said the deal would be forever. NATO, don't have me up here daydreaming because what the. Don't say the bad word. Don't say the bad word. Don't say the bad word. We might need to change that rule because the way the news is going, I ain't gonna make it. With I need to say the bad word. Oh, somebody in the comments section, say the bad word for me, please. Couple times. Okay? And put a little oomph in it too. There's some. Hold on. I got to write this down for things to go over at the meeting. Yeah, because I need to be able to say the bad word. And confirmed he was dropping the threat of additional tariffs on Europe. The Times reported NATO members discussed a compromise in which Denmark would give the United States sovereignty over small pockets of Greenlandic land where the United States could build military bases, according to three senior officials familiar with the discussion. Here's the thing. We already have those over there. But here's the thing. It was a smart move. It's a smart move because they learned from the Venezuelan situation. They know that Trump is thank you, Nana J. Appreciate you. Always come through solid for me. They know that if you just let Trump come in, Trump is going to be like, we're taking the minerals. But I thought it was about defense. I never said that. It's about the minerals. We're taking the minerals. And then he's going to try to deport anybody with melanin in their skin up out of Greenland. Yeah. Yeah. Your girl was tired this morning. I overslept and didn't see the show Sound of Coffee this morning. Once again, if you need a good morning show to listen to on your way to work or to watch while you're at work, I don't know. I don't judge. Well, I do judge a little bit. Well, a lot of it. Make sure Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, you tune in to GCPR.live or through TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all the places for the Sound of Coffee. Now, I missed it this morning. But I'm gonna ask y'all for tomorrow on Flag on the Play Friday. Wait a minute, what is today? Yeah, today's Thursday. So tomorrow for Flag on the Play Friday, tell him to let me say the word. Tell him change the rule, cause this is hard out here for a Taz. No, not yet. Not yet, Nana J. There's been a few hiccups down here. With yeah. But I'll be back soon. Yeah, cause this ain't no way I'm gonna get through the news without it. Ain't no way. After some news that I don't think anybody could use. Trump is still trying to, with his cohort, the FCC, trying to reshape late night TV because he doesn't like being the butt of a joke. But according to some memoirs, he don't mind getting a foot up the buttocks. Now, on his way to Davos, Air Force One was having some electrical trouble. Iran, get better at it, okay? I don't know who you got over here doing this, but I'm feeling like you didn't give them that full deposit, so rectify that, please. Post haste. So he had to take Marine 2 over there, okay? Now we know when he got the plane from Qatar, we got the estimates on the price and how long it would take to get things together before he could ride around and funk up the plane, right? And shout out to any of the journalists that ride on the plane with him, because ain't no way I'm gonna be stuck in a sardine can with a mofo that smell like he been a dead sardine for like 67 centuries. But you like it, I love it, whatever. Trump to start flying in $400 million Qatari jet at center of corruption accusations this summer. What corners was cut? You know what? Don't even tell me what corners was cut. Don't. I don't want to know if y'all checked it for bombs. I don't even care if you left the bugs in there that we all know that they probably put in there. I don't give a damn if the cameras were in there. Just let us tap into the feed when you do what you do. I'm just saying. I'm not a snuff film girly, but that's a true crime documentary I want to see from the inside. A controversial $400 million Qatari donated aircraft that was not donated. That was a purchase. That was a purchase. Like, that was a purchase. Am I supposed to say that Wendy's donated me this? It was a purchase. Donated. Yeah. I'm finding it. I'm finding it. Oh, we about to crack open a bottle of wine because Jesus, the offense all around this BS today. Whew. I ain't never getting out of timeout. A controversial $400 million Qatar donated aircraft expected to be ready for the president to use by the summer, the United States Air Force has said. What Air Force? The current Air Force? The current Air Force, they got rid of all the good people, the qualified people, people with the clearance to be able to properly work on them. How they get it done so quick? With what budget? How they get it? How they get it done so quick? The exact date for delivery is yet to be confirmed, but it is believed the aircraft could make its debut as part of the celebration planned for July when the U.S. celebrates 250 years since the Declaration of Independence, according to the report in the Wall Street Journal. Now, first of all, anybody who's ever taken a history class from me, you know how I feel about celebrating the Declaration of Independence. Why are we celebrating a Dear John letter? Because y'all tell us about our little celebrations being dumb all the time. Because like when women started having divorce parties, and nobody said that y'all can't have divorce parties. I don't know why y'all don't, but y'all said having divorce parties was dumb. But we're essentially celebrating. We having a divorce party on the taxpayer dime. It's been 250 years. We ain't passed it yet. We still trying to get back with our old boo. Tell me. Well, the way everybody keep trying to call, well, over on MAGA trying to call Trump a king, I guess we do miss our old boo. Are we going back? I mean, I've seen the food over there because I don't, I don't want my custody to be over there. I don't want my custody to be over here, but I done made things a little comfortable over here. But how they get this plane together so quickly? Like the last time they rushed something, we saw that parade last year for his birthday. Divorce on Monday and marry him again Tuesday. Facts. But we saw the parade when they rushed through that. Now, look, there are some very qualified active duty military personnel right now. Okay. I'm not talking about y'all. Okay. But I also know they're not about to put y'all in charge of nothing. Okay. Because you probably understanding woke, quote unquote, a woman, black, brown, indigenous, something like that. So I'm not talking about y'all. I'm not trusting nothing. While Pete Hegseth is SecDef. I mean, I'm gonna trust it for Trump. Trump, yeah, get on that plane. As a matter of fact, Trump, tell him don't even wait for the summer. Tell him to pull it up in spring. Yeah, yeah. Tell him you need to pop out on a good spring Sunday afternoon. You need to take the new Air Force One round the park on Sunday. Yeah. You gotta have it broke in for you by the time your birthday roll around. Yeah, Trump, tell him, don't even wait for summer. Pull up, right? Get your booty creases all up in that plane. The Air Force remains committed to expediting delivery of the V-625 bridge aircraft in support of the presidential airlift mission with an anticipated delivery no later than summer 2026, the Air Force said. We don't forget all of the issues the cutter said that the plane had as to why they wasn't using it and how expensive it was and all that stuff, and that it really wasn't up to par for a presidential plane. Once again, Trump, tell the Air Force you can't wait till the summer. Okay. You don't want Christmas in July when it comes to your plane. You want that plane by Mother's Day. And you know what, Trump? If you hate me the way that I know you hate me, because I know you do, because you kept blocking me and had to be forced to unblock me over on the Twitter when it was still Twitter. Um, Call for them to have your plane done by my birthday in April. You know what? Get it delivered on April. Take your first spin round on April 24th. Completely overshadow my birthday. Have all eyes on you. Be Tupac for the day. All eyes on me. Do that. You know what? Do that. Hmm. That is a beautiful idea. I feel like you should do that. As a matter of fact, somebody started an online rumor saying that Obama is popping out with a new plane on April 3rd. Mhm. 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 Yeah. Mhm. And just for good measure, just for good measure, just throw out that Michelle makes Barack the chocolate pie from the movie The Help every Sunday. And that's how he keep his figure like that. That's why people love him so much. And he don't share the pie. He eat the whole pie by himself. Yeah, start that rumor. Start that rumor. Mhm. Mm, mhm. Ain't got no good sense. Like and also, since remember when Trump accepted, bought the plane from the Qatari royal family. Just somebody also just put up there because remember Trump said only a stupid person would turn this down. Just be like, Obama wanted it. He was gonna go swoop it up. Like just tell him. Just just look. This year for my birthday, if I had one wish, it would be to cover a nice presidential event in a cathedral in DC where former presidents and vice presidents convene because nothing warms my heart more than covering presidential events. So, you know, just I feel like 2026 it's a good year for a presidential event at a cathedral with a horse-drawn carriage and 1 to 2 representatives from each branch of the military in their dress blues. And invitations should go out to all other past presidents. And yeah, yeah, right. Make a whole event out of it. Wear your Sunday best. And I feel like the person, like, we don't need a full choir. Get Laura Trump to be the choir all by herself because as much as Trump keeps trying to push her into politics, that girl, she won't, she's a cage bird that want to sing. Let us sing, okay? Um, and let Eric and Donnie Jr., co-officiate. It'll it'll be legendary. I don't get sense. Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I'm just saying. It just it's a seems like a good year for that. Okay. Right. It's legendary. You know, and after this presidential event at a cathedral, we can all get together and we can break bread together at, I believe they call it a repast. As always, thank you all for joining me here for the Taz Effect, especially those listening in over the radio airwaves at gcpr.live and those watching on TikTok, YouTube, Substack, and Facebook. Later on today at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Central is To Your Health Care on these GCPR radio airwaves. And then TKE with Jeff Kennedy. And then 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, Superplex Party. I'm a little biased. I really like the show. But you can check out my IT twin and big brother Thomas. And of course, the general of all generals, talking all things wrestling. And then at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, Conversations with Jane Nathan. Also, if you are a small business owner or you would like for your current employer to advertise either on one particular show or as a whole for gcpr.live, you can submit your inquiry at ghostclawprod, P-R-O-D, at gcpr.live. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. I will see you all 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central on TikTok for a continuation of learning through literature as we continue to go through the memoir Nobody's Girl by Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of the victims of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. And yes, we are part 2 where she has met Donald Trump. If you've missed any parts of that, you can go over to YouTube at TazJ77 and get all caught up there. But like I said, each one teach one, each one reach one. Don't do anything that requires bail, not in this economy. And remember, it only requires bail should you be caught. Be good, don't be caught.